Okay, well,
So,
one
so
thing
um,
from the last
yeah,
session, can I start?
yeah, go ahead.
Are
Sorry. Yeah,
you
yeah,
done
yeah.
yet?
Yeah, exactly. There we go. Hi, Joan. Welcome back to Real Therapy, where I show you sessions of me working with real people. I invite you to go and check out the earlier episodes for more context, so I'll just say a little bit about what you're going to see. Today we are exploring ambiguity. This session is more about not knowing what's going on and trying to find some reference point. From the outside, this might look inefficient or meandering, but in my view, this kind of frustration is actually very productive for making space for a process to emerge so that somebody can find their way. What I really focus on in my work, as you'll see, is somatics, embodiment, listening to the emotions and letting the emotions lead us. Also, a brief note that she is calling herself Joan for this series, but also Joan is becoming kind of an alter ego at the same time for her to play with. So it might seem a little ambiguous because it is. I think that that is part of her discovery process of not being quite sure, am I Joan? Am I acting like Joan? Who is Joan? Who is this being that I'm bringing into this space? So if you're a bit confused about what's going on along the way, you're picking up on a confusion in her and also in me in terms of who is this person that's trying to come forward. And that's an important space to spend time in, even if it doesn't seem linear, even if it doesn't seem like there's a plan. My view is that there is a kind of plan encoded into each individual, and we are there to pay attention and wait for that plan to emerge over time. And that's a particular way of working that I'm trying to show you on this channel. Let's dive in. One of your past careers involved
Yeah.
tuning in to what would make people happy and like you.
Mm-hmm.
There's been something very useful for that way of being in your life. It's led to a certain level of success in certain ways. So it's not gone unrewarded. Like there's a reason that it got there. And it sounds like you're really used to that way of being and that you're also wanting to discover, well, what is it like when I don't orient towards other people in terms of like tuning in, what do they want, and then I'll try to do that, and that it sounds like you want to discover something else, something a little more serious, self-important, um, uh, aggressive or defiant at times. Yeah.
I wanted to say, are you done yet?
Uh-huh. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Am I talking too much?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. How does it feel to say that?
Mm. Kind of radical.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I I have my legs crossed, whereas
Mm-hmm.
like that's like a no-no to me because it's like not
Mm-hmm.
open.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's kind of saying with your body's not open. And then when you were talking, I like wanted to cross my arms. I did, which
Yeah.
is like a double like
Mm-hmm.
saying something closed off.
So what are you trying to close off? Am I taking up too much space? Am I saying the same things over and over again? Am I like what
It's
like I can be long-winded, so like I'm open to the possibility here. Yeah.
it doesn't feel like it's actually closing off. It's kind of like trying to hold on to something is what it feels like. Like by crossing my legs and crossing my arms, I'm trying to hold on to my that little flame, that like little
Okay.
spark.
Mm-hmm.
And if I uncross and I'm patient and
Mm-hmm.
nice, it's gonna go out.
Okay. So how does the spark want to be tended to right now, or how does it want to be advanced more in the relationship so that you don't have to be like, whoa, there's a lot of this other person coming in, and I really gotta be protective here, right? Like how, like what's the stoking of the spark, or what's the pushing out into the world and making more space for it? I'm here. That sort of. Um, does that make sense, or is that too
It,
abstract?
no, it's
Okay.
stoking it as you're talking.
Okay. So how do you know in your body that it's being stoked?
I feel this little like wave of like energy or something.
Mm-hmm.
It almost feels like the very, very beginning of tears. Not that I'm conscious of any tears coming, but like, oh, it's from the place where tears come is
Mm-hmm.
kind of
Mm-hmm.
lighting up.
Okay. Is it okay to stay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's just listen to your body and see where it takes us.
I like saying, "Are you done yet?" I think that's
Mm-hmm.
something I fantasize about saying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the are you done yet? It sounds like something's wanting to come in more when you say that. Like I'm
Yeah.
taking up too much space, so I want to know more what is trying to come in, uh, whatever that means for you.
Yeah, I don't like it when you talk about that because it makes me feel scared like I'm not giving you something to hold on to. Like I'm not giving you enough contact. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm scared that there's nothing here, that I'm just like playing a part, but
Uh-huh.
that she's not actually that substantial.
Uh-huh. Almost like existentially. So the more that I ask you to come forward, you're like, hey, I don't know if I've got something over here.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay, well we can be with that fear. Maybe what I'm hearing is you just really don't trust yourself to know what is authentic to this aspect of yourself.
That rings true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels so under practiced.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, it would make sense that if it's under practice, that it might be a little shaky.
Hmm.
Yeah. So let me ask you this then, instead of me coming in with my approaches or whatever, what let's I'll pull back a little bit. Maybe Joan can articulate what she wants from me.
I don't know what I want.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what I think I should say is kind of going into my real life, that I visited the fire hydrant that I had the accident with. And so I feel
Mm-hmm.
like I should like want to talk about that or something, but I don't really
Hmm.
know what I think
It sounds
about.
like you don't want to talk about it though.
Yeah, kind of.
So how does it feel to not have to talk about something if you don't want to talk about it?
That feels good.
Okay.
Now you're not talking, you're leaving a lot of space for me.
How is that?
Mm. Oh, I like it. I think.
Are you sure?
Uh, yeah, it makes me feel like, okay, what do I want to talk about? It
Mm-hmm.
gives me a little space.
Mm-hmm. So on the one hand, there's this like, oh, I don't even really know what I want, or there's kind of that kind of foggy sense.
Hmm.
But I think through this, we're hearing, no, you want maybe more space. Maybe I'll say a little bit less, and you can just kind of find your way a little bit more.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. I'm like having some of my little things that I do where I think of other things
Mm-hmm.
that don't seem super related and might be a way of avoiding. So I'm trying not to bring those in.
Mm-hmm. And avoiding what right now?
The awkwardness of like not knowing where this is going or if it's any good.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Right, some more kind of background judging, evaluating.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For what it's worth, I just had a moment of like a little sadness in me, like, oh, there's this aspect of you that's just always really working hard to avoid some kind of judgment or bad evaluation or whatever. It makes it hard to really find more contact because this is so forward. Like, am I doing it right? Is this the good version of the rebellious me? Right?
Yeah.
So it just kind of keeps looping back into that same. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel emotion about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So in the midst of this fog, that feels real to me. The emotion that's coming up around this, right, as we try to find your bearings in all of this. These moments of really connecting to your felt experience, I think, are more grounded and less kind of speculative.
Yeah, I'm feeling much more sensitive to the sounds around me than I usually am.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're just driving me crazy right now. Even the
Mm-hmm.
big trucks that drive by.
Yeah, like get out of my space, or what's the sentence there?
Yeah, like, go be loud somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And the laughing, I usually like the laughing I can hear in my office, but I'm just like, it feels so uh, annoying to me right now.
Do you feel that anger somewhere?
Yeah, yeah. Well, when you said that, I really felt it.
Hmm?
Like,
Where
pretty
where do you feel it?
deep in my belly.
Okay. Would it make a sound, or what would it be if you were? And you don't have to say it out loud if you don't want to, but just even in your own mind to connect with it.
I think of like Haya with like a kick.
Okay.
Something that I feel like is happening. What you want from me is not very clear,
Mm-hmm.
and that's
Yeah.
freaking me out. and
Good. I'm so glad you said that.
and now I'm like kind of tuning into my environment in a different way
Mm-hmm.
because you're like not
Mm-hmm.
being very clear on how I could please you.
Yeah.
Um, and so now I'm
Uh-huh.
like, oh, geez, is this what it always sounds like in here?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Good, good, good. This is, I think this is very rich territory. Do you feel like the last time we met, as good as it was, that I was giving you more to hang your hat on?
Yeah,
And that, so in a way, I mean, I'm sure that there was something real. It seemed like there was something real to me
oh
about
yeah,
that session. But it also seems like maybe there was still this dynamic of trying to read me that was going on at the same time.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so if I pull back more, it's a little more disorienting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like put the ball in my court more.
Yeah.
Yeah, last time I loved it. It was really fun
Mm-hmm.
for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I did feel a little bit like I used to feel in acting class when I was younger, when I could kind
Mm-hmm.
of tell that I was like getting what the teacher wanted from me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah, so this is, again, we're hearing just these different stages of your life where the the reward structure was tuning in to the other. It really has helped you in your life
Hmm.
and be successful. Um, but there's some other part of you that's not really so on board with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have like this faint desire, wish or something to kind of like stomp through a hallway.
Mm-hmm.
Like not slam doors, but like bang walls kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. What's the feeling of that as you imagine that? Is that you're kind of like angry and disturbing people, or?
Yeah, like I kind of crave the like contact it would make to like bang a wall and to like
Mm-hmm.
make a big ruckus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So just bang something like the chair and do it, but do it slowly so you can feel it. So really, like, instead of just like rah, 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 like try to slow down the movement and really feel the energy move, and imagine you're banging on the wall in the hall.
Definitely like priming that flicker thing in here
Mm-hmm.
each time.
Yeah. So it sounds like a mixture of like some energy and also some sadness, maybe too.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything that part wants from me or needs from me?
I guess you could bang on the walls too, and then that would make it a little easier.
Okay. Yeah. Do you want to imagine that? I mean, if I were there, that sounds like a hoot. But why did I say hoot? I'm like not from Georgia. Anyway, let's do it. Just bring me into your imagination, and let's tell me how am I smashing on the wall? Am I doing it the same as you? Am I like just follow the energy? See what feels good.
I picture you grabbing like the lamp and just spinning around really close to the wall so it just like keeps hitting the wall with like this long lamp.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm just
Okay.
like, oh my God, I can't believe you're doing that. You're gonna ruin the wall and the lamp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
People are gonna be so mad, but
Mm-hmm.
now I can just like do my fists on the wall and it's fine.
Mm-hmm. So do that again, and just feel that as you imagine me giving you permission to do that. And just really allow your arms to feel it. Like this is an energy that's trying to move in your body. So you don't have to make sense of it. It doesn't have to be rationalized. Just feel the energy. And if it feels like you're just going through the motions, you can stop too. So.
Feels good.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, it feels kind of like a tantrum energy.
Does it feel okay to welcome that energy?
Mm,
Mixed bag?
yeah.
Yeah. So it really seems like what's coming up is the leading edge of all this is maybe we don't quite know how things want to get fleshed out going forward, but there is a sadness about this inner, let's say, repression mechanism, this kind of stuffing down of sorts that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that to me feels like a real experiential reference point, even if it's foggy as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what's in there.
Mm-hmm.
I keep thinking of this photographer I used to work with, who I was like so good at pleasing.
Hmm.
And I still really like him. He was so pushy and kind of a dick.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I liked him a lot. And I liked working for him. It was really fulfilling.
Hmm. So what was fulfilling? Because that kind of sounds like the opposite of what Joan wants to be. So, which is fine. So maybe to one part of you it was fulfilling, and maybe to the, well, I guess it's kind of confusing because we're also just calling you Joan for the series, but this other kind of alter ego Joan, like it really sounds like there's an ambivalence between these two different tracks of your being.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what would Joan have been satisfied with that dynamic as well, or just the regular?
No way.
No. Okay. What would she say?
she'd tell the photographer to get in front of the camera, and she'll talk to him the way that he
Mm-hmm.
talks to his people.
So that he feels how crappy it is, or
Yeah,
okay.
like I don't like feeling this, but I do kind of picture him feeling a little degraded.
Mm-hmm. So that he could feel how you feel.
I guess so.
So maybe that's part of this process then is there's the Joan that wants to come forward more, but maybe there's also the like taking time to recognize how it really feels to be kind of diminutive in your relationships. Or to be diminished, I guess would be, yeah, whatever. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Dimmed.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, I was pretty annoyed with my distractions, and I'm
Yeah.
not ever. So
Uh-huh.
something's different about that. I do think it was like you were like a moving target.
Hmm.
So I was like, what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
Which I think
Yeah.
is good. Like
Yeah.
if you want me to be something, we'll get through this much more smoothly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it's interesting because there's a, this will be an interesting exploration because there are many times in which I can be very active in following an energy. But if you're really good at producing a kind of facsimile, then I'm going to have to work differently
Mhm.
and actually frustrate you, probably,
Mhm.
is the most productive way. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of felt like I was looking for a fight.
What wants to be fought out?
Something about me, like, I don't know, my opinions or something. Like, it would clarify for me what I think
Hmm.
if we if it got heated.
Uh huh. Right. Like if you had more friction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So maybe I need to be even more pushy.
I
Then we
think
can see where
so.
that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like if I really start to kind of really crowd you out, then maybe you'll start to feel the impulse to push back a little more.
Yeah. I
Something
noticed
like
that
that.
in the groups I've been a member of, the bigger groups, I'm so much more agitated and I
Mm-hmm.
like push my way in. And
Mm-hmm.
in
Mm-hmm.
the smaller groups, there's like time and I can be patient. I don't have to get all feisty.
Right.
But it's
Right.
not as like there's not as much there. There's not as much friction for me to like get clarified.
Yeah. I almost wonder if staying in the ambiguity might be more productive than the friction.
Mm.
Because then it's really kind of opening the door for you to step in.
Hmm.
And then maybe part of it is you need to feel the grief of like, I don't know what I want to put into this space. I mean, all this is so important, all these little details,
Yeah.
because we're mapping out like what does this part need? What is the container that this part needs, right? What does it need from me? Maybe a little more, a little bit of less of this, or so that's maybe we're not making a lot of contact yet, but this part is telling us, hey, these are the conditions if you want to have some contact with me.
Yeah.